Hello, hello. If you're here, awesome. It looks like it's working. Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. I was actually having a little bit of troubles getting this going. I got the circle of death, which we all hate, of course. But we're good now. So, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Let me know in the chat if you're here. I want to see. I want to hear from you guys. See who's here. Don't be shy. I know it takes a few minutes for people to pop in. Cindy is in the chat, so say hi to Cindy. A big hello to you. Um, if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat as we're going through today's live, okay? And we will get back to you. I often can't see the comments, but I will be looking just in case. So if I can, I will get to them. If not, then rest assured, either Cindy will answer you or I'll get back to you after the live. Okay, so again, happy Wednesday. Middle of the week. I hope everyone is having a great week so far. We are super excited over here at the Brave 10% Edge because we have an event coming up next week, which I'll talk about in a few moments here. But we are really gearing up to help some people next week with their lead magnets. So without further ado, let's get into this. What we're talking about today is really about getting visible and turning it into paid conversations, okay? How do we do that? What are the steps? So really excited to be talking about these like little sales tips today. So many people out there are very visible, but they lack the follow-up to really benefit from that visibility, right? And so we're going to talk a little bit about that because when you're visible but you don't have that follow-up system, you're really not getting paid for your work, right? So we want to obviously flip that for you and show you what you need to do in order to flip that script and really get people more engaged and wanting what you have. If you've ever thought that I'm posting and I'm showing up, but why isn't this converting? Then this live is for you. So stick around. You'll learn some stuff today. But first, for whoever doesn't know me, my name is Kelsey Bornyk, and I help coaches, consultants, and service providers really install a repeatable client attraction operating system. We call it our chaos method. That really turns Facebook visibility into paid conversations and consistent income. Okay, this is not motivation. This is not a bunch of hacks, and this is definitely not about constantly launching. It's about a system that we install, okay? And that system we install, we actually teach that for free every month. That's our client attraction 5-day sprint. If you want to know more information about that, just pop it in the chat and we'll let you know when it is. It's coming up at the end of this month. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So here's the truth, guys. People won't say content is the problem, right? Because that isn't where the issue is. Content can be improved a lot of the times, but the real problem is lacking the system that's behind that content, right? And what I've realized over over the period that I've been online is that in order to have a successful business, it's not really about hustling really hard. It's about finding the right actions that are sustainable, that you can systematize and repeat all the time, right? And they always say, and you've probably heard this from other people, if your business feels boring, then you're doing it right? Because you're doing the same repeatable actions that work every single day, week, or month. And that really plays into our chaos method, right? It's a very systematized way of going through things that warm people up until they know, like, and trust you enough to say yes if your offer is the right fit for them, okay? So That being said, I want to break down what chaos really is, okay? So it actually stands for two different things. So we call it our client attraction operating system, but it also stands for clarity, attraction, ownership, and sales. Now, what does that mean? How do I relate that back to you? So, we want to make sure that we're super clear, right? If you, with our ideal clients or our prospects or audience, however you refer to them, because if you're unclear about who you help and what you sell, then nothing converts, right? Like, what outcome are you trying to provide to your ideal clients? And what outcome are they actually looking for? What are they Googling? What are they wanting, right? What exactly are they looking for? So, we want to be really clear on this point. This makes a big difference in our business, and it covers a lot of ground in our business because this doesn't just cover your positioning statement, it also covers all of the different offers that you put out and your email content, right? Your social media content, any kind of content that you create needs to be surrounded in this clarity moment, right? You need to know exactly who you're targeting, what outcome you provide, and also what is the next step that you want to take with these people, right? So then that comes into attraction, where we have visibility, right? We want the visibility first because that positions us. It's not about performance, it's just about positioning you, getting in front of the right people. And then we want to take that visibility and do something with it, right? What is it leading to? We don't want to put content out there that doesn't have a strategic point to it, right? We want to obviously help our audience, give them little tips, give them some feedback, but ultimately we want to help them solve an outcome, right? So, how are we using our content to position it in a way that we are leading them to something? It could be a free resource, it could be a call, it could be a free event. It could be a replay of a live training such as this, right? What are we exactly trying to get them to do? Where are they in our pipeline? So are they new and really unaware of you right now? Have they been in your ecosystem for a little bit and you want them to learn more about you, get to know more about you, so they start feeling like they know, like, and trust you, right? This is so different than a brick and mortar where you can walk in, have a conversation with someone. You build trust a lot faster that way. Online, you have to do it very strategically, right? Because there's a lot of fear online with people being fraudulent and not doing the right things. And so you want to make sure that you come across as trustworthy, knowing that ensuring them rather that you can really provide this outcome that you are offering them, right? So this all goes under the attraction umbrella, right? We want to make sure that we are able to not only be the visibility, but we don't want vanity metrics, but we want to lead them to something after. Otherwise, they just go away, they forget about you, and that isn't what we need because that isn't what converts, right? The next one, ownership, right? What is ownership? Well, ownership is like really owning the actions that you have to do. So we have daily, weekly, and monthly actions that we have to take every single day. So those actions compound and create a small trickle effect of consistent leads going through your business, right? Whether they are just there to learn some free stuff, they're ready to move, and they're ready buyers to purchase your products. This is where we really have to own our actions and realize that if we don't do these actions, we're not going to get the outcomes that we want, right? Just like when you have clients, if they don't do the actions, they're not going to get the outcome that you provide as a solution because they're not following through on the actions that you are telling them to do. So just as important for you to do the exact same thing, follow the actions, do the actions consistently, as consistent as you can, right? Because the more consistent you are, the more your audience trusts you, right? Because you're showing up all the time. They can expect your information that you're sharing. They can expect to get something of value from you, right? This is where we really show our leadership. Think of it as your ideal clients, your audience, trying on what you have, trying on your coaching services, trying on your whatever it is that you're promoting, right? They are trying that on first before they commit to actually taking the next step with you, right? So you need to own your side of it so they can own their side of it. The next one is S for sales, right? And this is really about activating your buyers through structured conversations and conversion moments. So what are conversion moments? Conversion moments are like inviting them to different things, different replays, different events that you hold on, inviting them even to your email list, right? Different places where they can have touch points with you, where they then feel like they can trust you enough to convert, right? So a lot of times for us in our business, this happens in our client activation events, okay? And we hold these monthly, so it's a repeatable thing. And you are also really helping nurture that know, like, and trust value during this process. So they're trying on your services, right? They will know right there, oh, okay, this is how she teaches. This resonates with me, right? Oh, this is what she's teaching. That's exactly what I need, right? But I need more. So then they move into this conversion moment where they have to really make a decision, right? This isn't about convincing anyone that they need you, right? You have what they need. You have the outcome. They wouldn't be there if you didn't. But it's really about inviting them to make a decision. Are they ready to make that next step, or are they still wanting to wait, try things out a little bit longer, right? They're not ready to make that step into the decision to convert, but they are making a decision that they're not ready, right? So it's all about creating an environment where people feel safe enough to make that decision, okay? We don't want to skip the ownership and sales part, right? Because that's more of the post and hope kind of mentality. And a lot of people, even myself, had this mentality at the beginning, right? Oh, I should just put out content and then they'll contact me if they're interested. Unfortunately, this does not work online, okay? It can every once in a while, so don't get me wrong, it's not like a 0% chance, but it's not a consistent thing. You can't rely on it. You can't bank on it. And in all actuality, most people will not go from content to sale, okay? They need to know that they can trust you and they know you and they like what you have to offer first, especially for higher ticket sales, okay? They really want to have that human contact and that human in the loop so they can understand you a little bit more, right? But the money isn't in the post, it's in the conversations. And that's what I want you to really focus on, is having real conversations with people, right? Get in the comments, get in the DMs, be curious, ask questions, but in a safe way where people feel safe to answer, right? Especially in the comments, because when you start asking people about their struggles and what solutions they're looking for, you're really putting them in a vulnerable spot, because a lot of times as business owners, we don't want to share our vulnerabilities to the world, right? Because we feel, even though in most cases this is not the truth, but we feel if we show our vulnerability, that actually lacks trust, or it creates the lack of trust in the people that we are trying to promote our stuff to, right? But really, it makes you more human, right? We all have struggles. Even the most successful people in their businesses have pain points, right? Okay, this is working great, but this isn't working great. You can be great at your job, right? At what you do, getting an outcome, but not be really great at the back end of your business, right? That doesn't make you a bad business owner or someone that shouldn't be followed. It just means that you need help in that one area, right? So that is just super important to understand when you're putting out those comments, making them really safe. There, people will be like, oh, this is easy to answer. They don't have to sit there and think about it too deep. They can do really easy answers that feel safe. And then from there, you can move it into the DMs where it's more private and you can get into more of the nitty gritty, right? People are feeling more safe in there because not only are you showing them that they're being seen, they're also being heard, right? But in a container that doesn't make them feel super vulnerable, right? So I want to talk to you about a little bit about what we're hosting next week, because this really plays into the attraction part of chaos, right? And so this 3-day event is about about launching a high converting lead magnet. We're going to build it out with you every single day. It's action orientated. You need to be ready to be doing this with us, right? And it's going to be really awesome, because having a really high converting freebie or lead magnet, whatever you prefer to call it, is so super important to attract the right people. Because then you know, if especially if your lead magnet, which it should, and we'll teach you this, your lead magnet needs to be directly relatable to the solution that you do solve, right? It just needs to be a mini problem that you're solving versus you're not solving the whole issue, right? And then you really know that the people that are taking you up on this freebie or lead magnet are the people that you are looking for, right? They might not be ready to buy yet, but they are looking for the solutions that you provide. So that allows you to bring in more people into your ecosystem. It gives you the opportunity to nurture them, right? And then at the right point, if it's right for them and if it's right for you, because we have to qualify on both sides, don't forget, right? That they can now have a conversion moment where they feel ready to make a decision, right? Where am I going to go? And that's the environment that we are trying to promote. So during the 3-day event, we're going to talk about how we use something that we already have to create a lead magnet. Okay, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to start from the beginning. What do we have that we can now convert into a lead magnet, right? Then we're going to show you exactly how you can structure it in a template to make it really appealing, because believe it or not, messaging is high, but appearance is high as well. A lot of times when people download something and they get something that doesn't look really that great, they will feel that the services are going to match the product. Now, that's not always the case, as we know, right? But that is the internal thinking of your potential buyers, right? Is this person the right fit? Well, do I like their style? That goes into visual appearance, right? And then we're going to tell you exactly what you need to do to really launch this into the world, right? What do we do with it once we have it, and how do we get people to be attracted to it? That is a really important part, because this is what helps you not only bring in the right people into your ecosystem, but it also helps you build your email list. And as we know, as online entrepreneurs, our email list is the only thing that we truly own, right? If Facebook goes down right now, then I have my email list that I can go to and I can still talk to, right? Because that is its own community itself, is your email list. So no matter what's happening in the world, or maybe I just don't have access to social media, well, how can I keep my business going? That's going to be through your email list. So it's really important to make sure that you are building simultaneously, right? You're building your audience online, but you're also building your email list at the same time. So that is our live for today. I just wanted to go through and just show you exactly why each of these steps is really important and what you need to do, right? So just to recap, we don't need more content, but we do need the right content, right? We need to be clear on what our message is. We need to be clear on the solution that we provide, and we need to be clear on the exact person we are trying to attract. Because if we try to attract everyone, we attract no one, because a confused buyer is not a buyer, okay? So then it's the attraction, of course. We want to be visible. Everyone wants to be visible, but what do we do after that visibility, right? And what are we trying to lead them to? We need to lead them to something. And then the ownership of us actually following through on the actions that we need to do every single day to build those conversations, to build the relationships, right? To follow up as a leader in your space. And then, of course, the sales component, activating the buyers, right? How do we activate the buyers? Through having structured conversion moments. So like I said, this can be in your email, this can be events, free events that you put on, workshops, sprints, challenges, so on and so forth, right? Little moments where you are inviting a decision, you're not convincing anyone, right? Because people don't need to be convinced, they just need to feel safe. Okay, so that is what you need really to get your content doing something for you, to make those conversations paid conversations. So if you're interested in joining us for our 3-day event next week, it starts on the 17th, the Tuesday. Please let us know. Just put down below lead magnet, just comment lead magnet, and we will get the information over to you. And furthermore, if you want to really install this chaos method into your business, right? Showing you every single step. That's 5 days of free coaching. Every day we're going to show you the next step. They all layer on top of each other, just like our action stack. So does this method, right? And we're going to show you it in real time and have you do it along with us so you can get real results by the end of the 5 days. Okay. So if you're interested in that, just drop sprint and we will get you the information for that as well. But that is all for today. So thank you for being here. As always, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye for now.